You know, as another back-to-school season approaches, it's not only the kids who may be stressing. Statistics say many Canadian parents also face the stress of balancing school schedules with their own work commitments. But when one parent works from home, it can create issues in a relationship about caregiving responsibilities, and usually by one parent, if not shared equally. And while remote work offers some flexibility, it also blurs the lines between professional and parental responsibilities, especially for those with those school-aged children. Alyssa Bach is an associate with Shulman Partners and spoke with me about the things that happened, in particularly with divorced, separated couples, and who's responsible. Parents who are working from home, a lot of people might think, well, that seems to be great. If you got kids, you're there, and it's less things to do, and less stress. But that's not always the case, and sometimes it always leans on one parent, right?
Yeah, it's something that when parents are working from home, and anybody who's tried to work from home with a child at home can vouch that it's not easy. You're essentially working two jobs at once, and where that can create issues is with productivity and commitments, both to your kids and to your workplace. And when somebody isn't in that environment, it can be easy to look at it and say, well, you're home. Why wouldn't the kids also be home? And that can create some tension too.
And then, of course, you've got a lot of things that you're juggling too, right, with what the kids need to do, and especially as we get back to school next month, and then you're a work-at-home parent, but, the kids need picking up, or maybe they're in, recreational sports or something, or, any kind of extracurricular, and parent-teacher meetings, that kind of thing. Where does that leave it? Who should have those responsibilities? Who picks that up?
Yeah, and for both parents who are together and parents who are separated, the biggest thing is communication, making sure that there are clear parameters on what the expectations are for each parent around things like pickup, drop off, lunches, who's packing the lunches, who's organizing the back to school shopping. And if you do have one parent who is working from home, making sure that there's a conversation about where the limitations are in their workday, that just because they're home doesn't mean necessarily that they're available. Sometimes it's finding accommodations that if a work from home parent is carving out a certain portion of their day for the kids, is the other parent, once they're home, carving out a certain portion of their day to let the work from home parent get back on online. So there are different ways to do it, but the biggest thing is having those conversations early on, having open conversations about it, and really having clear expectations so that you're not kind of breeding resentment, and making sure that everybody is able to meet all of their needs.
Yeah, and I mean, we are still in the summer, and kids are still home, still not back in school yet. And for parents who are working from home, this can be a really tough time, because this is the time of the summer where the kids start to get a little bored. They're looking for extra attention. They want somebody to direct them on what to do, to fill their days. And if you're a professional trying to work from home, where's that line between being a professional and being a parent?
Yeah, and it can definitely get tricky, especially like you said, as kids get antsy as we get to the end of the holiday. And sometimes there are kids who are in summer camp for part of the summer, but not for the other portion. And having that planned out to make sure that everybody is able to take time with the kids and also still meeting their obligations. And it can be difficult when you have one person who is in office and one person who is at home, but making sure that there's also, depending on how old your kids are, having clear expectations with them that can help them understand, and making sure that they know when there's quiet time, when there's not, which obviously, depending on the age range, can be difficult. But I think that having those expectations outlined can be really helpful.
What's some of the best things parents can do as we get ready for that getting back to school mentality and changing things around in the home?
Yeah, especially for separated parents, making sure that any kind of parenting plans have been reviewed before school starts. When we talk about parenting plans, typically we're looking at not only the schedule for which days the kids are with each parent, but also how they're managing the needs during the school year. And so making sure, does the current schedule actually still work for the upcoming school year? Are there days where a parent knows they're going to need accommodations, for example, being proactive with those requests. Yeah.
If parents are separated, should they have some kind of a legal document about the kids?
Highly encouraged to have a parenting plan. So sometimes parents will have a full separation agreement that outlines all of the aspects of their separation. Sometimes attached to that separation agreement or as a separate document is their parenting plan that talks about how they're parenting their kids, what the expectations are around decisions and scheduling. And that document can help give clarity to parents, especially with these things like back to school, making sure that everybody's aligned and knows what's happening, trying to reduce the conflict.
Yeah, and I guess for parents who are still together, making plans, especially if one's working from home, making plans about who's responsible for what's going to go on is going to help not strain that relationship, because this could be a huge strain.
Exactly. And knowing, right, that there needs to be some degree of flexibility too, because last minute things will come up. Sometimes there's a work trip or the kids' extracurriculars change. And when parents are together sorting out coverage for the kids while somebody's away or for the kids' activities, when parents are separated, having that put into their parenting plan and having early conversations when amendments need to be made.
Yeah, and kids getting sick. There's a big one. That comes up so quickly that if you have a plan in place beforehand, there won't be such hard feelings.
Exactly. Trying to reduce tension and conflict wherever you can. It makes everybody's lives go smoother.
Yeah, that sounds great. Any other last minute advice for people with if they are working from home and they have kids?
If you are working from home and you have kids, make sure that you are having those open conversations. If you are separated, seek legal advice where you can to try to avoid court at all costs. Get something in place so that everybody is aligned, reduce that conflict.
All great advice. Thanks so much, Alyssa.
Thank you for having me.